All right, I got rival gangs on the farm. Rival gangs, y'all. Ducks versus chickens. They're not the same. Rotate. So these little ducks, they've got a different energy than chickens do. And earlier this week, I saw somebody who's moving. They had a bunch of ducks, adult ducks listed. Well, they're 1 year old, listed for 15 bucks each. So I went and bought them all. That's super cheap. These ducks, by way of example, cost me $45 each, and those cost me $15 each. So mallard and whatnot, they're a little timid, but the problem is I've been roommating chickens and ducks together. The chickens are way aggressive, way aggressive. The ducks don't really match that energy, so I need to break them up. Behind me is the answer, and that was a little chicken house that I found online, that a city chicken thing. Listen, having chickens in the city, I see a lot of stuff for sale, especially if they get a rooster. The neighbors don't like that. So, but chickens are messy and stinky, and people are, they like, oh, I got the eggs. Well, there's the whole biological load that goes behind a chicken. And making an egg's not a zero project for a chicken. There's a lot of poop, a lot of poop. And noise and energy and lots of goes on. And chickens only lay eggs up to 3 years, then they're tapped out, and they'll live up to 8. So then you're ended up with a whole bunch of chickens that don't lay eggs anymore. So, but my problem is the rival gangs. I gotta separate the chickens from the ducks. Well, look here. This is my idea. So my little stock pond, and this thing will fill all the way up. I'm in the middle of a drought. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put some logs across there, some pre-treated timbers, and I'm going to put a duck house here that I can access the back side of it to get to the nesting boxes, but over the water. That's the plan. So to execute on that plan, I found a chicken coop, old used chicken coop on Facebook, I think. Yeah, Facebook it was. And $50. That's a huge deal. And it's like a 500-pound chicken coop. I'll splice in right now here when I picked it up in the evening hours and I drove through the back things, because having a chicken coop hooked to a trailer at 70 miles an hour on the highway where you don't know where the doors are going, bad idea. So let me go ahead and splice that in. I'll put some music. You can watch that little trip. See Texas, rural Texas in the dark. All right. The road I'm taking, since I got the duck house on the back end of my truck. But how beautiful, right? Just how beautiful. Even in a drought, it's just beautiful.
The wind hums low, it hums indeed. Dust rolls soft like an endless sea. A broken wheel leans on the gate. Time's a circle, don't it wait? Oh, desert winds, they sing, carry me far on a hollow string. Round and round where the old roots cling. Oh, desert winds, they sing, they sing. Stars that don't forget. The moon's a coin, it's always set. And the mandolin sighs, oh, it sighs like echoes lost in open sky. Oh, desert winds, they sing, carry me far on a hollow string, round and round where the old roots cling. Oh, desert winds, they sing, they sing. The lone hawk calls, no one hears. Washboard rattles through the years. Pedal steel bends, the notes just fall like sand slipping through it all.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that wilderness drive. I've put some music on it or whatever I've done. But now I'm back where civilization is. I'm going to check everything back there. I'm hauling an old chicken coop. And so I didn't want to drive on the highway at all, especially at night. I wouldn't know if something flew off. So I literally took the wilderness. But let me check out all the chains and everything before I go home, because there's people up ahead. All right. Yeah. Tie down chains. Yeah. All right. I am happy. Everybody will be safe. I saw this little door opening up against that, but that'll be all right. But no other doors opened. Everything stayed closed. So. All right, so the gal I picked it up from, she put a really good price on it, $50. And she said she must have had 30 people ask for it. But she let me pick it up because I said, I have a tractor and I have a trailer and I'll pick it up all in one fell swoop, 5 minutes. Which is true. It took me 40 minutes to get there, 40 minutes. But once I got there and I got the tractor down, I picked it up and moved it. But it is at least 300 to 500 pounds worth of wood. And I love it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fix the trim, and I'm going to paint it turquoise, which is the official color on the farm. So you see the turquoise door there on the house that I'm building. So it'll be that color, but on the chicken coop. Let's explore the chicken coop together. It was dark when I got there, so we'll look at it together and see what it's like. Let's get all that all done. All right, chains are off. All right, well, look at that cute little door. That's a cute little door. So I got one little spot to fix there where I can see a snake will get in and a raccoon will chew through that wire and get in. So I'll do something there. Wire mesh. Oh, this says very much duck. Look at that. Oh, so well made. How wonderful. I love the old patina on it. So I'm not going to do anything other than paint this and maybe hang a bell there even, but paint this teal. I'll let Leah do that. She'll get a kick out of doing that. So then the nesting boxes can be reached from the other side. So when I set this up over the creek over there, over the pond, I want to make sure that I can reach this side of it. So then I don't have any hay right now. I used it all for the horses, but I'll get some hay in there. Let's see if that opens up. It does not. And get this all set up and ready to go. So the little ducks have their own home, and they don't have to be in there. That's where, and that's going to move too. When people pull in, I don't want them to run into, you know, the little chicken coop there. But I think I'm going to move the chicken coop all over behind into the trees there. I think that'll be special. So what's the project for today? Well, one, to get it off of here, but two, I'm going to cut these legs off and get rid of the net that's down there. Put it on a platform over the water, and then I'll build a drawbridge. And I might cut this door where I get an electric door here, so it'll be an electric door up and down. Fix these, because raccoons will come in here. So I'll fix that roof so that roof doesn't have these gaps in it. Probably, maybe put some net here or some wire there to keep the snakes out, so the snakes don't go in and eat the eggs or run off the ducks. And maybe, if I get lucky, I'll have baby ducks this year or next. The big Muscovies, they might be ready to lay eggs, but not the little ones. They're all way, way over there hanging out. So there we go. All right, so now that I've got it all unloaded, I can inspect it a little bit. So I did notice there's definitely on the bottom, there's some damage, right? This is unsavable, that and that. But these 4x4s appear to be treated. The 2x4s on the back might have been treated, but some of them definitely are showing some age. Like this one, whatever was going on here was trapping water. So I probably won't replace that, to be honest. I'll rebuild this in a few years. I've got a house to build, so I just want the ducks to be taken care of. All right, so my idea is I'll measure this distance and that distance, and I'll see if I can find a spot where I could just put it in there, and I'll go ahead and knock those bottom supports out and see whether or not I could put that in, or if I could cut that and leave those and put it in. That would work too. So these would be down into the water for now, kind of like I don't know, little dock. We'll find out. Let's look. Look at my new ducks sleeping. That is the charm of ducks. Cuties. They're itty bitty, aren't they? Still have a little gosling about them, a little duckling. All right, so it's 65 foot across, the thing is 20 inches down for the legs. The big back leg would be there, and 30 inches this way. If that would go this way, I think it would fit right in there. All right, 70 inches there. Well, it would, and I could cut the feet for 14 inches, and 14 inches would be this depth. Well, this is the spot, and all of that twisted mesquite bramble. So here's my thinking. It will keep the horses from nosing around on it and the cattle from bumping into it if it's kind of attached and buried under the mesquite trees. In addition, I'm pretty sure that the ducks will appreciate the shade and the comfort. So I'm going to go ahead and pull off the old busted wood and maybe cut it a little bit, and maybe even take it over and give it a test fit. Maybe. All right, so you'll hear the hydraulics slowly releasing, pink, 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 the weight of I'm going to call it a duck house now. The duck house, which is probably 500 pounds, between 300 and 500 pounds. It's heavy. So I'm going to get rid of the wire that's on there because it's really, really big wire. And to be honest, big, heavy raccoons and fox, they'll chew right through that. It needs to be wire cable welded mesh cable to out here. Now you might get away with in the city, right? Something like that, but you won't hear. In addition, it's really too big to keep out weasels and ferrets and I don't know, anything like that that would be in this area. So I had measured it earlier and it was 14 inches down to the mud. I'm going to start there and cut that. I still might put supports across the top, but we'll see how far. I'll even do a test fit in there and see. If I'm done, I'm done, right? Then I'll be, look, I'm all done. And then tonight or the next day, or maybe when I get help, I'll take the little ducks, I'll trim one of their wings so they're in balance so they won't fly away. They'll just fly in a big circle. And as I trim their wings, I'll put them in a cage and then I'll transfer them here. Leave them for a day and a half or so. They'll get adapted and they'll either call this home or they'll decide the chickens are safer and they'll go to the chicken thing. Eventually, I'll get them trained in here. The front side, I need to build a little cage in the front with, you know, an awning, and I'll make it really nice so they can step out and see the morning without committing to being outside, right? That they'll step out into a cage. That'll let them feel safer. In addition, the things like that window up there, that's, you know, it's got some mesh in it. It needs additional mesh in it to keep away the 40-pound raccoons in my neck of the woods. All right, let's do some cuts. All right, well, now that I might have it, it might fit down into that little creek. I don't know. So I'm going to take the fork truck, lower it into the creek, and then I can always put boards across it just like I was thinking. But I'm going to use the feet to my advantage. Let's see how that fits. I'm excited.
Painted a frame where I hide away time. Clocks that I found in the dust and the grime. I stopped every second, rewrote what we knew, rebuilding the echoes of me and of you. An old faded photo I placed in your hands, soft-spoken confessions like shifting sands, deep in the chest where the night used to sleep. Our story was buried in secrets we keep. We pushed all the pain of the storms to the sea, tried hard to forget what was tearing at me. There's no more time, please don't ask me to stay. There's nothing left here, it's all where your skin holds the light. And your laughter is flame. Every memory whispers, like calling my name. Time moves slowly, no need to run. Here in the heart, we're already done. Breathe in the quiet, let the moment stay. There's nothing to rush, we're safe this way. Time moves slowly, no need to run. Here we remain when the race is done. Time moves slowly, no need to run. Here we remain when the race is done.
My ducks are curious. They're coming over. Well, obviously this is the front. So in the middle of all of this, I decided that I'll put the front in. Now I'm going to jockey this around where the legs are down into the swamp, into the water. They'll be down in the water there. My idea is I can run treated timbers underneath this and hold it up on a raft. But I'm going to put you in a tree while I do that work. It will be too much for me to do it all at once. But, you know, I have this tree I might end up cutting out to, you know, to fit the roof. I've got that tree that I might end up scooching it over. I don't know. We'll find out. But nevertheless, I have to turn everything on. And the ducks are super curious. Super curious. That is sweet. So she's already looking at the nesting box as a possible, you know, place to call home. Well, I got it in there without tearing it up. It's at a little bit of an angle. My original idea of putting piers underneath there, that's the right idea. I was going to stick it over here, but I realized I would have had to turn it. So the front part wouldn't face the house and the porch. It would have faced nowhere, right? And that's not what I want. I want to be able to look out and see the little thing and put a little decorative floral on it. All right, so what I'm going to do, I open it up to see if anybody sticks themselves in there. I need to get a bale of hay, and I've decided to go get the piers that I'll need for that, and I'll just put the boards up right now. Pick it up, put it on there. I'll be happier with that. That way I can level it with some blocks and get it level. I don't want the eggs to roll into one side. Hopefully I'll have some little ducks. I'm not planning to necessarily get duck eggs, but that's where they'll be. And there I'll put a little drawbridge right there for the ducks so they can go right in there. And I'll get them in the next day or so. All right, so the roof I had chained down when I left because wasn't on. It wasn't on when I got it, and it's less on after I moved it around. You'll see that it fell off while I was working with it and whatnot. So taking a look at it, there's a tree in the back, and I'm going to leave that tree because I might have enough water flow in here to push this thing around. I'm going to use the tree as an anchor. So I got a tree there. I got a tree there. This does flood. I have seen water all the way up in here. I just don't know, you know, if it's going to go up, I don't know, 4 inches. I can always pick it up and go higher with this thing. I could put it on cinder blocks. That was my original idea, or post blocks, another 8 inches. But let's see how we go. We've been in a drought for 10 years. So, you know, building for the worst right now with the duck thing, I don't know. But the roof was odd. The 2 sheets of tin were overlapping too much. It left a weird opening here and down there. So I've realigned it so that it's all aligned here. And what I'm going to do is just cut around the tree. So let's do that now. All right, so I'm just going to eyeball it where it is. So that's the whole unit right there. And I'm just going to say, okay, that much. I'm going to cut that much. Give it a little bit to grow in. I'm going to round some of these edges so the horses don't get hurt on it. It is low, right? It's low to the ground. But certainly I don't want grazing animals to, get scratched any more than they do on the mesquite. So let's, I'm going to cut it down here where the water will run off a little bit. All right. And I'm going to say I need to cut it to there. So I'm going to cut it to there. All right. For sure that roof fits better. Previously, this tin just ended right on the edge, and now it's got a little overhang on it. A little overhang on this side too. So that'll keep the water from raining on it and rotting it fast. These, I'm going to get some chainsaws. I'm going to cut it to the same thing. I'm going to build a little deck right there for the ducks. So they got a little deck. I've got some boards to fit there. And so instead of a drawbridge, it'll be a little deck here. And then I'll probably put a cage in here so the ducks can come out in the morning and wait. And then it'll have an electric door there as well. We'll see. I haven't gotten all that done yet, but I'm going to finish it up, make this a complete video. I don't want to leave it all undone like that. I want to at least get that part done. Check its level in the morning. You can see I notched around the tree. Redid the tin. I'm super happy with that. It took me a little while. The ducks are getting ready to go in. It is dusk. It's time. All right, so I got a little work to do for tomorrow. That's all, just a little. And I'll do it and then put this up as one big video. It's super cute. They like the water now because when I first got them, they had never seen water like that and they were afraid of it. And it was quite the little drama, them flying and oh, they're so unhappy. And one got wet and went, oh, I like that. And then the next day two got wet. And then the third day they're all over there playing in the water. And the problem was solved, but it was so cute. They were so scared of the ducks, scared of the water. But if you'd never seen it and your mama never took you to the water, how would you know? So in fact, Leah was here and we herded them in together and they flew away and it was a big drama. They did not want to get their toesies wet. And then one accidentally landed in the water and it made it all the better. So there's the big one slowly going to bed, just like they're supposed to. Putting themselves up. They remind me of the gurus off of Dark Crystal. The way they walk and move. I'm sure that was the inspiration. Well, the duck pen continues. So getting there on it. Let me rotate. Now I'm looking for cattle panels or something that would let me put a little cage around the back side of that so the ducks can step out. I think this is what I'm going to go for. Right back here. One of these. Yep, that would do it. Horse panel. All right. That's exactly what I want. All right, well, it's a couple of days later, but let me finish this thing up. I've always got work and things to do. This morning when I let the ducks out, one of them flew all the way around the property. So I want to get their wings trimmed just this once and get them in this thing with a cage around it so they start calling this home. Maybe start nesting, making little baby ducks. Let's do an inventory before I start. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this with a board across here. All right, get that done. Down here, I've got some broken boards. I'm going to replace all those. This porch, I want to make it a real porch. And then lastly, I have some horse wire, which is big and thick enough raccoons can't chew it. I'll go ahead and make a cage on the outside. I'm going to order an electric door. Then, you know, I'm going to paint this. I've decided I like this for decoration. I'll take that off. But I'm going to put teal on that and teal here. I don't know if I have somebody else do that or not. Straighten that out. And then I'll be all set, ready for them to lay eggs. Bring me some babies this year. All right. Some of these were already loose, but other ones, they got looser when I moved it. I'm going to lose my temper, go in there with the sledge. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. 15 inches. All right. 36 inches. Two of these 7.5 inch boards, they'll do. All right, a checklist. I've got the roof tied down now, all well. I'm going to cut bars for that when I do the cage. I've got the gaps closed up here. I've fixed everything down there. I'm leaving it open so the chickens and ducks will explore. I cut a couple of buckets and put doors in them for nesting, as well as those nesting boxes. Now, I'm going to build the deck here and a cage for it. And I'm going to dig a little ramp right there, an earthen ramp, so the ducks are comfortable just coming right up. I'll put an electric door there when I get it in, as well as a door on the cage of unknown origin at this time. Well, looky there, recycled lumber. All I had to do is cut a few screws out of it and, you know, use it. Is it treated? Nope, I don't think so. Maybe some of it, but being painted, it'll last a little longer. And look, it's kind of got that country chic vibe already, all you know, painted and not painted. I like it. I'm going to cut this end off here, put a nose plate on the supports there on the bottom, and then I'll put in a door when that comes in. But look how cool. I cut around a little tree there. I cut around a tin there. But will it rot eventually? But that's not treated either. So, you know, if I get 10 years out of this thing, that's longer than then I'll probably have ducks. We'll find out. But I'm super excited. That'll be super nice. I don't know if the cage will come out farther or not, or if I'll keep it on the deck. I haven't decided that yet. All right, well, there's the deck. I've decided I'm going to build the cage just on the deck, not out. I don't want an animal digging under. The inside's ready. Man, if I had a dog kennel, I'd just bolt the dog kennel into it, cut out the tree, and be done. But I have big, heavy horse panels to cut up, and I'm going to bring the truck around and do that work now. All right, well, this is horse panel right here. It's 4-inch by 2-inch squares. It's 20 feet long. 60 inches high or so. You can get it in different heights. So, but that's what I got. And you can see that I'm using the trailer like an enormous press brake to fold over the sidewalls. They're 36. The next measurement is 60 inches for that deck. So I'm going to pull that out 60 inches, drop in this board and bend it up. And then once I get a little bend in it, I'll fold it all the way over. Now, I'm a big, 200 plus pound man, so I could stand on that. If you're itty bitty, that stuff will spring back and bite you. So make sure you got enough weight to do what I'm doing. All right, I'm gonna pull the 60 inches out now. Of course it would do that. Absolutely would do that. Why would it do that? All I need to do is get enough of a kink in it that I can hold it back over in that spot. So see, now I don't have to build any seams or do anything weird or have a spot where the animals can break in, or even do a support. That welded rod will be plenty strong in those corners. The last thing I need to do is just cut another 36-inch off of this last side, which is the last flap. So, and then I'll have the roof material right there. There's a burn ban out here, and it's for real, so I'm going to take my wire cutters, and bolt cutters, just going to cut through that. It'll take me a minute or so, and then I'll have the 3 panels folded up, and I'll walk them over, and I'll unfold them there, and then lastly I'll get a roof cut. All right, well, this is my morning. I wake up. They are all thinking I got bread. I don't have any bread this morning, guys. But let's let the other ducks out. All right. Well, I love them little ducks. They make me so happy. Let's do a recap here. In the morning light, I can see what I'm doing. Last night when I ended, it was too dark to do a wrap up. It's not quite finished. Rotate. But let's talk about cost here. Apologies, it is a spring day and the wind is really moving. So if it makes some noise, I apologize. So I found that for $50 on Facebook, and it had rotted legs on it. Some broken boards. The roof is still not mounted, but the roof was missing some boards, and some animals, snakes and whatnot could get in. So I repaired the roof, fixed it tin, removed the legs, which fit just perfect in my culvert. Now, am I worried that during a flood it'll come in there and hit that? I am, because I have seen this whole area here flooded to that berm. But that's only a couple of inches, and I've got a couple of inches there on the pedestals. Those boards, when I go to like Lowe's or Home Depot's and I find the 90% off, I got those, I believe they're 4x6s, treated. They're all twisted. Nobody could use them, but they're perfect, right? To put a bridge over a little creek here, little bridge over a little creek, and put the duck shelter, I guess I'd call it, duck shelter here. So I love the cage. It worked out really good. Y'all saw that I went ahead and one sheet, this is made of one piece, and what I did is I measured it out and I folded it 3 ways for the sides, 1, 2, 3. And then when I put it on, I found out that it was high enough that if I cut it just right, I could fold that over, and it's super strong, right? I'm not worried about a raccoon or somebody getting in there. Now, I haven't finished it because I need to put in the electric door, which I'm ordering today. And what I have stainless steel industrial strength ties that'll tie around it. So I went around the tree, and look down there, see the tree? It comes through. It'll grow out beyond that, and I'll pull that board up, and I'll keep going. But down through the years, I don't know how long this thing will last, but it is all up on treated. So the 2x4s there for the front porch, I made those of resalvaged material as well. So those are all resalvaged. Just super happy. If I go ahead and drop the nesting boxes, there's nobody in it now, but it's ready for me to bring in the ducks. All right. So apologies, I had a huge gust of wind, so I stopped recording for a minute or two. All right, so the wire mesh, that cost me $104 for a 60 by 20 foot, so 60 inch by 20 foot, the 4x2 horse panel, super strong stuff. So that was $104. That was $50. So I'm at $154. You know, a couple of dollars years ago on those posts. They weren't much of anything, right? But a couple of dollars. Broken cement blocks I salvaged. Everything here I salvaged. A Goodwill ship, which doesn't float. I'm going to mount it here, but I'm going to paint this teal and that teal. I'm just waiting for Leah to come out. What else do I have? Oh, I want to put some safety mesh in here to keep out little critters from getting in. And one last thing. Oh, this all needs to be zip tied. I need the door in. And I don't know what I'll do for a ramp, but we'll figure that out. I think just that earthen ramp will be fine for now, but I might get fancy. All right, I wanted to capture the ducks flying. When I disturb them, if I run at them, they'll hit the air and they'll disappear. So Leah says she's coming out middle of next week, and it's 5-6 days away. Hopefully the ducks won't disappear by then. But she said she would help me wrangle them up. They're super fast, super small. Wrangle them up, trim their wings. Once we get their wings trimmed, I'll put them in a cage that I'll stick in here and into the thing, and then I'll let them sit there overnight in that, and then I'll keep catching them and putting them, including the big ducks. Everybody will go in here, and I'll make this the duck thing. But I want to have the door automatically opening and them ready. I don't want to get them in there, get them comfortable, and have me still tearing it up. So right now I'm still rooming and boarding them with the chickens. The problem is the chickens are at dusk, right? Chasing each other around, making all this negative energy. The ducks, they get scared and they'll go back out into the water, and then I'll find them at 2 in the morning. Thank God I find them at 2 in the morning. The owls will eat them in a heartbeat. Will fly down and snatch them right out of the water. Coyotes, I have literally 40-pound, I'm pretty sure 40-pound raccoons. I also have wildcats out here, bobcats, lynx. I'm not sure what they are in this neck of the woods, but you get what I'm saying, bobcats. I'm not so sure hogs want to eat them if they could find them right out there. They need to be in a cage, that's for sure. And then I have 8-foot chicken snakes too. I pulled one out as big around as a soda bottle, and that's no exaggeration. We put a soda bottle up to it, and as big around as a soda bottle. Anyway, the ducks need to be sheltered. The chickens, and the kind of different energies. I want to shelter them, hoping the ducks in a calm environment will lay some eggs and give me some little ducklings, right? Same, the chickens, I'm hatching their own eggs. But if I could get eggs out of the ducks and they're fertile, then I'll try to do that. But they won't lay eggs in all of this commotion, right? They need a quiet place. And that's what that's about. All right, that'll do. You all like my little duck thing, but my little duck house, duck condo, duck lake house, spanning a creek, over a creek. That's pretty good architecture right there. Like, subscribe, follow me along. This is Cowboy Steve of Building a 1,000-Year Home. Bye.